Welcome to Trading Lounge and the indices. Just before we start, though, I just want to talk about the chat, social chat lounge. Now, I notice old members and new members haven't signed into this chat module, which is I suggest you do so because it's quite sort of helpful, really, because we do a lot of intraday updates in all of these, in lots of different markets here. Now, the login that you have for Trading Lounge won't get you into the chat module. You need to create, when you get to the chat module, you need to create your own username and password. If you're having any problems with that, let me know. But I just wanted to sort of highlight the sort of importance of this area here, because some of the charts that we get in here, these updates, are not in the normal section of the website. Okay, so the S&P here is a weekly chart. As you know, we've got wave 4 here going up into wave 5 here. The S&P is actually leading the Nasdaq to the upside. The banks and Berkshire Hathaway and those sort of markets are keeping it higher. The Nasdaq is a little bit lower, sitting at 20,000 there. But let's go to the daily chart here and work out what we need to do between wave 4 and 5 here. So from wave 4 here, we've been, called the low in. We've been working it to the upside, and with every cycle, with every trend, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and an end. And you can quite clearly see the middle here, which is always the most powerful point in the structure. So we have 1 and 2 and the third wave here. So we're in the ending of this structure. And what I wanted to say here, there's sort of 3 things here. Obviously, we've got the old high here. That's one thing. And then if we're in the end of the trend, that means we're in wave 4s and 5s here. So this is wave 4s. There's a dozen different types of corrections in Elliott Wave, and they can all occur in wave 4s, and they can get complicated. They can go sideways, and it's pretty hard to pin them down. Like I said before we got here, is that it's going to be a tough area. It's not going to be an area where we trade, but what I can say is that we will be traveling sideways, but we will be edging higher. So there is more higher price levels to go, but it will be a hard slog to the upside. Now, how far wave 2 pulls back when we've got 5 waves completed here? Look, I could put the 61.8% in and say that's where it's going to go and all the rest of it, but it could pull back 80%, it could pull back 40%, 35%, it could do anything. So we always work the structure itself, and we're looking for a zigzag of 5, 3, 5 structure as wave 2 here. And this will be our next trading opportunity in here, in looking for this third wave to the upside here. The other point here is the trading levels between, say, 5,000 and 6,000 here. 6,000, we use the Fibonacci sequence of 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, and we have a sequence with these that they're being used as a price ratio, but in psychology terms as well, certain numbers have more pull than other numbers. Numbers with zeros, with 1 0 on it, or 2 zeros, or 3 zeros, is going to have more impact than another particular number, and an even number might have more pull than an odd number, and these sorts of things. So I look at number 8 here, if we look at the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. So I look at 5 as the second strongest number in the market, 1 is the strongest, then 5, and then 8 here. So when we talk about 8 here, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. We also talk about group 2. I won't go into that, but you can see the lower end of group 2 here, I call it the 65 number, in this case 5,650, and then the 72 here, and the 80. This is just the shell of what's in group 2 here, but you can see that it's important here, and you can see that it's important here as well. So that's the number that we're up against at the moment, is the 5650. Let's go in a little bit further in here to the intraday and look at this wave 1 trend here. This from wave 4 to wave 1 up here. we're looking for 5 waves, and like I said, we've got the beginning of the structure here, and then we've got the middle of the structure, and now we're in the end of the structure. And like I said, this is where not only I will make mistakes, it's where you will make mistakes as well. And this is where you start to lose money in here, because you get into that woulda, coulda, shoulda, and oh shit, and all the rest of it. So you trade less, and be mindful of where you are in the particular structure. And like I said, the next trade that we're looking at will be 5 waves here, 3 waves here, and 5 waves here. How far will it pull back? There's some gaps in the market over here, and things we'll check those out in the futures market more so than the cash market. And this 3rd wave up here is the one that we want. Pay no attention to, as I say, how long things take and all these sorts of things. But, this little area in here is a little bit tricky. The Nasdaq is quite clear that we could put wave 4 here. Now, I could put wave 4 here as well, and I could do a range of things here. I could put wave 5 over here, and I could put this here, and I could put this here as an ABC and a few things. But I'm just going to go back here and just leave it the way it is. There's a couple of options. All I can say is that, could we put wave 5 in here and shorten it all up? Yeah, probably, but we don't have 5 waves up here just yet, so it looks like we need to go a little bit higher up here at this point. And anyway, let's just go in there and make this a little bit more confusing for you here. So, like I said, in the when we look at this particular pattern here, it's always helpful when you trying to figure something out, is to have a look at other markets. For me with the indices here, I look at stocks. I look at all the half a dozen leading stocks and try to get some sort of consensus on what the hell's happening. And so this hasn't this little pattern here, if we just look at this for a moment on the Nasdaq here, you can see that we could put wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. It's a better picture here, so we can have wave 4 here. We still need to go up here further. So when we look at this one over here, the Nasdaq pulled down and made a new low below here. I've got this as wave 3 and 4 here, and then we can look at it as 1 and 2. And 1 and 2 here as an A and a B and a C. Now, the thing I don't like about this wave 2 here is that wave 2 here is rather bigger than wave 1 here. So it's okay, but it kind of raises alarm bells and flags and all those sort of things. And then I go to the fact, well, could we look at this as, the A wave here, a B wave up here, and a C wave here? Well, not really, but you could go a WXY in all of that as well. The point being is, are we going to be pushing up from here? And it kind of looks like that will be the thing at this point here. But like I said, these wave 4s here, be it here, or even it gets a bit more complicated over here. We're running out of time for this, so it does kind of need to push up based on what I can see with stocks. So it's probably in. It'll sort itself out, but we're just looking for this wave 1 up here, and that's sort of where we are at the moment with this. So we'll just stay with this, sort of kind of know what's going on, but I don't have it really pinned down for sure. So that's the S&P, roughly spoken and mapped out, and the Nasdaq here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's a little bit cleaner here. Now, once again, this wave 4 here could get bigger and uglier and all the rest of it. But what I'm sort of seeing with stock is it should sort of push up from here. And it also doesn't make a very nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. It looks okay. It doesn't really give me a nice 5 waves down here. So I could probably put this over here and go a WXY over here. So there's a couple of different ways to count this. So if you've got a different count, it doesn't mean that you're wrong and I'm right or anything like that. All we can say is that we are in a corrective pattern. It appears to be wave 4. It could get uglier, but we're still looking for one more move to the upside. And normally what we'd look at, obviously the 20,000 is here, but a lot of the time we would look as, because the extension's in wave 3 here, we could look at wave one here, the length of wave 1 and the length of wave 5 here being roughly the same. Now take that with a pinch of salt, because we're working around a number that's got 4 zeros on it, so it's going to have a bit of weight. You know, the bigger the number, the bigger the orders that are going to be attracted to that. But it's certainly it's certainly basically, you know, as a wave 4, it's certainly sort of sticking out quite nicely in all of this now. Do you know what I mean? A wave 4 in Elliott terms would always break the wave 2 trend channel, so it's doing its job. It just needs to, we just need to see another high here. But I'm not interested in this, and I'm not that interested in this either. It's when this is completed and we start building from here, you know, like we've done with stocks. Because with stocks and indices, we built in through here, you know. We did quite well out of all of that. I can go to the 1000 tick area here and just sort of exploit this a little bit further. So wave 3 at the top here with an A wave, and here I've got an A and a B and a C, so it's counted a little bit differently this time around, and that's okay. And then 1, 2 here and 3 here, and then all of this is wave 4 here to this point, and then a nice 5 waves down here to complete it. So I think that this is the case. What I'm also seeing here though is I'm not really seeing a nice wave 1 up here. I can see from here we've got 1, 2, 3, you know, some 4 in here and 5 here, so I can see we've got 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can kind of see that we've only got 3 waves up here, so that bothers me. And then, you know, I was looking for this for wave 1, but I can see that's got 5 and correction 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 3 waves here as well, so it's probably likely to come over here, but I still don't trust this wave 1 here either, you know. So, you know, maybe this wave 4 is going to get a bit more complicated at this point. So it's just something we just need to, you know, I mean, it's great if you got some answers, that's fantastic. But otherwise, you know, we're still looking for this wave 1 top to come into play over here for this. How far this goes up here, I don't know, and how far this will stretch if it goes up, or do we get some other little leg in here just to, you know, throw us out a little bit. So anyway, doing the best I can, but we knew, you know, I did warn everybody that coming into this particular space is going to be problematic, you know. Rightio, so the Russell here, the same sort of pattern really, you know, slightly different, but basically we're looking for the same thing in terms of you know, a wave 4 here, then up for wave 1, and then some sort of ABC for wave 2 here, and then we can go up from that point. So yeah, we're getting there, but we're at the end of the trend here. You can see that we've got the beginning, the building process, the middle where it gaps a lot, and then we've got the ending process coming into play at the moment, and this is where it gets messy. So you know, we'll try to take some profit just above here. You may have already done that, and we talked about taking part profit here or all of it or whatever, and we can take some further up here if you wish. I'll do my best. It does look like a little 5 waves here, but I think we could also just just tidy this up here a little bit and not let it, you know, just protect what we have here. We don't need to be greedy at this point with this. We've done our job, and that's that. So we come over to the DAX. Now I won't go into the daily chart or all of that. We've been there before, but basically we're doing in the same thing. We're looking for this wave 1 to the upside here, this wave 5 of 1 here, and then back for wave 2 here. Once again, you know, this trend to the upside here, they all started on the 5th of August here. So any market that you've got, stock or any particular market that started on the 5th of August, it'll be part of this, you know, the S&P and the Nasdaq move, so to speak. And you can see this is the middle of the trend here. So now we're sort of at the end of we're getting close to the end of the trend here. Now, I may not have this right. I'm not that happy with this particular pattern here, because it's kind of, if I put the wave 4 here, it's leading over the S&P. I'm not that happy with that. So we may end up in a bit of strife here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could probably put that. I mean, in this count here, it's just that we'll have one more move up here. But, you know, the Nasdaq and the S&P, they're telling me we should be going up here even further. So Maybe I could go 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, and the fourth and fifth. So maybe this is lagging, and I could bring this over to here. Let me just dress this up a little bit here. I just want to see what it looks like. I mean, I'd rather have the DAX lagging than than being out in front, you know. Either way, I think that you know, I think, you know, if you've got these trades in here, I think you know, we've taken part profit here. I think we could pretty much tighten this up a little bit. We'll give it a little bit of a chance, but we don't want to ride the whole fourth wave out here. That makes a little bit more sense. And this might even, let me see about this. That's 1 and 2, 1 and 2. That's like 3, 4, 5, yeah. So I could probably put that in there. And this is a wave 4 here. How far will it pull back? There's good support all through here. So if you want to keep the stop just under here, that should be fine. And this, all of those lows there, this is where this could come. So I think this is probably a little bit more accurate here for this. That would sort of suit the game a little bit better. Still a bit small for a wave 4. Anyway, you can do what you want with this, you know what I mean? It's just like, I try to get you to the top, but so that's that. And then we can have a look at the UK market, and we're looking at well, I've got wave 3 here and wave 4 here, and then we've been counting to the upside here, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we really had a nice little sort of pop there for this one. And then we're going into this wave 4. Now this looks a little bit, we could push straight up from here, but this one here looks a bit bearish to the downside, and this here has got a bit of overlapping wave structure in it. As soon as this market here takes out these lows here, then it'll be part of this wave 4, and this wave 4 can pull back to this wave 4 here. Not that it has to, because it's really good support. This is the 50, 60 or the 62 and 65% pocket, so we could look at this coming down here as well, realistically. So that's sort of okay at this point, I guess. Kind of on track there. We might need to adjust this a little bit further. I don't particularly want to put wave 4 over here at this point, but we may have to. That means that I'll need to put this over to here, so I don't want to do that at this stage. I'll just leave this the way it is. And then we come over to the Australian market, and we're on 1,000 ticks here. So it's the 5th of August journey to the upside here as well. The same with stock and all the rest of them. And let me just clean this up here. And we're looking for this 1 and 2 to pull back over here somewhere. So we're looking for 5 waves up. So we've got our wave 1 and 2 here. And we're going all the way up for 3 here now, and that will be 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for third, fourth, fifth for third, fourth, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're landing into the 4th here, and then we'll go up for the 5th here. How far that goes up, I don't know. We'll just have to see. But that's basically where we are at the moment. And also too, just let me. This is the APPL, the actual futures contracts here as well for this. So this is also quite clear in terms of 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. It's got even a nice, it's much cleaner count to the upside. So we've got wave 4 here. Now wave 4 can pull back to the wave 4 of one lesser degree here as well. It can pull back to this area here. But being at the 8,000, the number 8 here is going to be, you know, we can see it's a little bit grabby, you know, so it's going to stick to that. But basically I was sort of looking at this, you know, this could get out of control a little bit as well, but basically to tie it in with the Nasdaq and all the rest of it, we could look at this as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here, and that low will be in place here, and we can push up from here. So we do need to see the S&P and the Nasdaq move up. So if I just bring the Nasdaq back here, what you want to see is at some point in the future, you want to see that top get taken out here. Not so much that one, just even that one there would be fine. That would be the long. If that gets triggered, then all the other markets will get triggered as well. So that will be quite key at that particular point. Now there's stocks like NVIDIA and Apple and Netflix. They're the ones that are leading to the upside. The rest of them are sort of dragging their feet a bit. Rightio. So this being on 1,000 ticks here, we'll just go in. I'll just show you how I counted that up there a little bit. So I was thinking of it like this, with the A wave, the B wave here, and then coming down for 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth and fifth here for the C or fourth here. It does appear that we got a bit of an impulse wave up here, so it's quite nice, and we're sitting on top of 130, which is 830 here. We're top of group 1 here, well, just subgroup 1. So look, if you see the market sort of chuffing off a little bit, you could probably get the smallest amount here, and then look for a little classic trading levels pattern across here. So it's got the first high above the level, so to speak, and then go long at that point. That would be a bit safer. So you can do 1 contract here and 2 contracts here or something or other. But you're in wave 4, so this is, consider wave 4 the one that takes your money. Okay, so you need to trade less. So when you're going into, wave 2 to wave 3 here, this is where you trade more when you're coming into wave 2 to wave 3 here. But now we're in wave 4, we need to trade less. And if you do that, you'll just, you're just managing your stuff better at that point, Okay, so I'll leave it all at that. I'll just look at the bank. So CBA here looks like it needs to just push up a little bit further, but I could push this wave 1 into over here as well. I'm not that keen on doing that, but Westpac has got a little wave 4 here and a little wave 5. So we could probably put Westpac in here as being done and dusted at this point. We'll see, The little move down here yesterday was on lower volume than the previous day, so it's probably corrective and will probably push up further. But I'm just saying that from here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, that's the impulse wave, So we're close to the top here, and you don't want to be trading around large numbers here, by the way, either. You can take positions for longer term, but not for short term, because you're going to be frustrated. Alrighty, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.